federal judge on Thursday barred the DeSantis and Trump administration from bringing new detainees to Alligator Alcatraz and demanded the state close out operations at the immigration detention facility within 60 days. What's really incredible about this, and again, it's a victory now, but it will be appealed, is this was pretty much a torture prison out in the open with the Trump administration and the Republican Party hawking merchandise. Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup.
This is Ashley with Status Coup.
On the ground.
In Philadelphia.
Flint, Michigan. East Palestine, Ohio. Please support the leading independent news outlet on the ground,
covering what the corporate media covers up.
Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup. Incredible breaking news for once in this Trump 2.0 hellscape. At almost 10 o'clock at night here, a federal judge has ordered the Trump Gestapo ICE prison, known as Alligator Alcatraz, to be shut down in 60 days. And as of now, no new prisoners can be shipped in. This is incredible news. I am sure the Trump administration, as well as Florida Governor DeSantis's administration, will appeal this. But as of right now, a judge has halted new prisoners being shipped there, new construction, and called for this Gestapo prison that many have called a concentration camp to be shut down. Before I give you the details, I want to be clear. There is no other outlet, mainstream or independent, that has covered and investigated and dug on Alligator Alcatraz more than Status Coup. We have been on the ground there multiple times at great resources to us, at great expense to us, and we stayed on it after we left. So please, please support us if you can so we can continue doing this important, super vital on-the-ground investigative journalism. And thank you to our paying members who helped us go there and have helped us stay on it. Let me show you the details here. This is from the Miami Herald. Credit to them as well. They've done great reporting on Alligator Alcatraz. Obviously, they're down there. Judge orders Alligator Alcatraz shut down in 60 days, says no more new detainees. A federal judge on Thursday barred the DeSantis and Trump administration from bringing new detainees to Alligator Alcatraz and demanded the state close out operations at the immigration detention facility within 60 days. I don't even call it a detention facility. It is a prison where people are being held without due process. U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams, in her 82-page ruling, prohibited the state and federal government from bringing additional detainees to the detention center, which has drawn mass protests. She also stopped any expansion of the detention facility, including adding industrial lighting or erecting any new buildings such as tents or dormitories. Though her order does not prohibit the state from making repairs to the site, the most striking aspect of the order is her demand that the state begin removing all generators, gas, sewage, and other waste items that have transformed the airstrip into a detention center within 60 days, rendering the site uninhabitable. Williams said she expects attrition to make the stripping of the site safe. Williams' order, a temporary injunction that will hold as the case continues to be litigated, comes in a lawsuit filed by environmental groups and the Miccosukee tribe, I always mispronounce it, apologies, arguing that the state and federal governments cut important corners when erecting the site in a matter of days. That would be 8 days to be exact. And cutting corners like, permits, doing an environmental impact study, which by law you have to do, particularly in the Everglades, which is home to some of the most endangered species, pristine waters, aquifers, among many, many important environmental needs, as well as the wildlife. What's really incredible about this, and again, it's a victory now, but it will be appealed, is this was pretty much a torture prison out in the open with the Trump administration and the Republican Party hawking merchandise. Alligator hats, alligator beer koozies, literally like MAGA families on vacation pulling over to take selfies in front of the Alligator Alcatraz sign. As human beings, undocumented or not, most of whom did not have criminal charges or any criminal history against them. literally were being left inside tents that were flooding, which created mold. Were being deprived of medication. Were passing out and being left sprawling, unconscious on the ground in the prison for as much as a half hour. We broke that story a week or two ago. We got the audio of a prisoner recounting that story. Was being left to be eaten alive by mosquitoes during the day while they sleep. A lot of these mosquitoes carry disease. We're being deprived water. We're being deprived adequate food. It was scalding heat inside. I mean, the list goes on. This was a torture prison in America. While the Trump administration cuts your Medicaid, gives massive tax breaks to corporations and wealthy people, literally is cutting food programs for the needy, is gutting the federal government while distracting the masses with illegal immigrants, as Trump literally hawks his meme coins, has foreigners come to the White House and pay millions to have dinner with him. Open corruption. I mean, the list goes on. So this is a big victory. Reminder, we were on the ground there more than most mainstream outlets and independent outlets. I want to show you some of that reporting. If you've never seen it or you're new here, definitely subscribe to Status Coup if you're new. We are almost at 500,000 subscribers and would love to get there. This was our reporter on the ground the first day at Alligator Alcatraz.
These are humans. There's human trafficking. There's kidnappings happening. There are people being torn from their families. There are young mothers who will not be able to raise their children. And there's people who will never be able to become an elder. And these are indigenous people with medicine, with culture, with love, with communities. And they don't deserve to be ignored.
The goal is terror. The goal is for us to suffer the most.
The heat index is like 100 plus here. So you're going to have issues of people being dehydrated, fainting, having heat stroke.
We're already seeing that in the Chrome detention centers.
There needs to be some sort of respect towards the tribes that are putting tax dollars into the Florida economy. How dare they? This is not their land. This is our land. This is native land. This is Seminole, Miccosukee, and indigenous people who are working, who are living our lives here.
As always, they dump these, in this case, illegal, inhuman prisons or environmentally calamitous projects on native land, on poor Black communities, on poor brown communities. And in this case, this is Seminole Miccosukee land that they put this prison on. And the indigenous people have been leading protests out there as well, which hasn't gotten enough coverage. I also want to show you just the insane environmental, sanitary problems with this prison that has been since the start. Again, this was our reporter, Ashley Bishop, out there. Covering it and talking to activists early on after this horror Gestapo torture camp opened.
We were not allowed in, but some media, particularly right-wing media, I know some very right-wing pundits had actually gotten ability to tour the facility, and the videos that they were putting on Instagram depicted basically, cement floors with chain link fences. Like it looked like a dog kennel, like a really awful dog kennel, frankly. Like the place that's like the kill shelter, right? That's what it looked like. And to think that that's where they're going to be putting people who have done nothing wrong except for try to make their lives better by moving to this country that we've promised them is a great place to live.
Here's another on the just disgusting lack of sanitation. Where are they going to put the poop? There's no plumbing. There's no running water in this torture prison. Let's play this.
We have such low amount of regulation around our environmental issues already. I'm not surprised that their plan is just to dump a bunch of shit in the Everglades. Where's their poop going to go? I hate to ask the obvious question, but like, there's no septic system here.
It's, not only just the weather itself, they want to torture people with that, but just like the sewage situation that multiple people have already brought up. You can't put septic tanks in the middle of the Everglades.
People come here, they go on airboat rides, they go see the alligators, they kayak, they stand up paddleboard, they go to the beach. And you think about how delicate it is in terms of being a system. We got 1,000 people. You're going to drive how many miles? 70, 100 miles? Like, the logistics of this are stupid. What happens when you put people in an environment? There is poop, there is pee, there is lots of other kinds of waste. Where are we going to go? So how many more trucks are going to be driving down this road, right? Or are we just going to dump it in the Everglades? I don't know. There's not been a plan. This has been put forth as political theater.
The creeks and the water that flows through Big Cypress down to Everglades National Park into the Biscayne Aquifer, that's our drinking water.
We haven't even gotten to the point that literally it's hurricane season, and this outdoor tent prison is in the bullseye of hurricanes. I have spoken with people who have said people are going to die there. I have spoken to climate scientists and experts who have said people are going to die there. Prisoners are going to die there. This prison, which was erected in 8 days, cannot withstand a tropical storm, much less a hurricane. Let me show you another clip from our on-the-ground reporting outside Alligator Alcatraz, where protesters have been out there almost every day.
They're expanding is clearly what we've seen this past week. They've returned to the filled trucks. We've got 30, 40 filled trucks an hour going back in and asphalt. We have wastewater coming out 24 hours a day, potable water going in, jet fuel going in, tankers that are unmarked but that have hazardous placards. That's a 5,000-gallon wastewater tank, which we do.
I'm going to zoom in over
yeah,
here.
And we do know, and it's been confirmed, those are going to Broward's wastewater treatment facility.
So these tanks are taking wastewater out of this facility and moving it somewhere else.
They're just all day and all night. They've been bringing in more bunks for the staff. They've been bringing in more bathrooms. There were 2 trucks that went in like this. It had
boxes with toilets?
It's not tall enough for a human to stand up in. I didn't know what in the world they even... Oh, look at all these generators. There are at least 4 or 5 ambulances that leave daily. This was today, an ambulance was pulling out of the facility, and as you can see, they have their lights on as they're pulling out. They will turn their lights off as they get down this road. It seems like every contractor has a connection to the governor or to prominent politicians and their donors.
I mean, that would track. These are all no-bid contract awards, right?
Of course, and a lot of them from out of state. I don't know how you get a no-bid contract from out of state, but they've managed to do it.
Simply put, this was a massive scam built on bigotry and to distract the MAGA minions. If you want to have an actual debate about illegal immigration, okay, we could have that debate. Are there issues with our border? Sure. Are there border towns that have dealt with crime? Yes. But I would argue the bigger criminals are, I don't know, on Wall Street that tanked our global economy and never had to pay for it and got their bonuses, leading to millions of people being foreclosed and evicted out of their homes, who prey on Black, brown people in particular with flimsy mortgages or higher interest rate mortgages. I'd argue the bigger criminals are the big pharma executives like the Sackler family that poisoned hundreds of thousands of people, killed them through Oxycontin, got off with a settlement. Or the big oil executives, the fossil fuckers who poison our water, air, soil, animals, don't even report it half the time with their oil spills, get off with a fine. I mean, we could keep going down the list. The defense contractors who help lead us into illegal wars that kill thousands and thousands of American soldiers, hundreds of thousands of people around the world, mostly brown. Big tech executives who steal your data and illegally sell it to third parties. Probably forget big agriculture. I could go down the list. You want to start going after real criminals? Those are the people that you should put in prison surrounded by alligators. not undocumented people who, whatever you think about it, coming here undocumented is a misdemeanor. And most of these people had no charges against them. We will continue to follow this, as I'm sure there will be appeals. Please support Status Coup. I'm not saying we're the reason this happened, but I am saying proudly, we covered this from the beginning. Ashley Bishop, John Farina went down there for days. They got eaten up alive by mosquitoes. We paid a separate cameraman to go down there several times to cover press conferences, vigils, and we have dug and stayed on it even when we're not there on the ground. This takes a lot of resources. It doesn't always go viral, but it's important, and that's why we stay on it, and that's why we exist. StatusCoup.com/join. Support us for as low as $5 a month. That's 16 cents a day.